Let's look ahead. Draft lottery is on Tuesday. Draft prospects, there are some huge possibilities, namely Jack Hughes. I'm not going to say the second name. I did it in the pregame. Capo Caco. Close?
You got it.
You're on.
You got it.
And on down the line. Rangers right now, 7th worst record in the league, pending the Oilers' outcome against Calgary. But up to the second as of right now, as we speak, Rangers 6.5% chance of getting the #1 overall pick and a 20.4% chance of a top 3 pick. Now, this could change depending on what happens tonight between the Oilers and the Flames, but up to the second, this is how it stands. So 20.4 chance, Anson, to get a top 3 pick after Hughes, and everybody knows about Jack Hughes. What's the potential after him?
Well, my focus is Hughes, and everything else follows. I mean, it's a pretty deep draft, so you're going to get a pretty good pick, and whether the Rangers fall 1, 3, 5, 7, top 10, you're supposed to get a good pick at that number. But as it stands right now, from the New York Rangers, I'm focused. I've got my lucky horseshoe, whatever it takes. I'm bringing that to the draft and trying to get that #1 pick, Valley.
And look, there's also after the top 3 picks, right? And you're getting to picks 15 through 20. There's a lot of good defensemen right there. Even I had one NHL scout tell me today, first 2 rounds are loaded with defensemen.
Really deep.
And if you look at the second round, where the Rangers have 3 picks, and they have the first pick in the 3rd round, so let's just call it's like having 4 picks. You know, there's a lot there. The Rangers have a lot there, so lots to work with. I'm sure the scouting staff in New York is busy right now.
So they make their money.
Remember, Rangers have their own #1 pick. They have the Winnipeg Jets' #1 pick because of that Kevin Hayes trade, and also could have some more picks depending on what happens with Dallas and Tampa Bay in the playoffs in terms of the first round. Also to discuss, they're restricted free agents: Pavel Buchnevich, Lemieux, Lettieri, D'Angelo, Pionk, and Freddie Claesson. The UFAs, John Gilmore and Connor Brickley. Now, Buchnevich, of course, guys, this is a player that has had a career year, 21 goals, and going forward, I would think that he fits in here long term.
His game has really matured. When I watch him play, he's a lot stronger on pucks. And previously, when I watched him play, I felt the play died with Pavel all the time. The second half of the season, that hasn't been the case. I mean, he's got the finishing ability. We knew he had the skill to make plays in the offensive zone, but it's a matter of holding on to pucks, Valley, fighting off checkers, showing that patience, but more importantly, showing that strength. And sometimes that just comes as being more mature as a hockey player.
Yeah, and look, this has been a 3-year progression that the other young players that are coming up underneath him, think of the Vitaly Kravtsov, like, you've got guys that are also Russian players that are prospects that are going to look to other Russian players. He's a great example because he's really taken the steps where first year as a Ranger, physically not mature enough to play at the NHL level consistently. Last year, didn't get the ice time to really produce. This year, he's been given an opportunity. He's got buy-in and support from the coaching staff. A 3-year plan for a lot of these guys, it's going to look like what Pavel Buchnevich just did, and it worked out perfectly for him.
I would say mentally, too. I mean, there's how many times we see him on the bench, shoulders have drooped. This year, that hasn't been the case.
All right, Rangers got Brendan Lemieux in the deal with Winnipeg for Kevin Hayes, part of the return on the way back. What do you think? 3 goals, 3 assists in 19 games,
Well, he brings,
but the grit.
Yeah, he brings a different element, the grit. That's exactly what it is. He has that ability to bring that gritty play, that physical play that the Rangers didn't really have in their lineup. And he's impressed with his willingness to drop the gloves and fight players that are bigger than him. Juju Kara right here does a pretty good job on him, tuning him up. He's physical, he's getting in the forecheck, but I want to see him get into better shape. He didn't play that much in Winnipeg, 4, 5, 6 minutes a game, and he was a 4th-line guy. Coming here to New York, it's an expanded role. I don't think physically he was able to keep up and play that same style of play game in and game out. He's going to have a big offseason this summer, Valley, to prepare his body physically to handle the additional minutes, because if you play that way, you're going to have the opposition players coming for you game in and game out. So not just handle the minutes, but also handle that physicality.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think this is where we're going to see a different layer to this player. You have to look back and trace back his scoring. He's scored at every level that he's ever played at. So we know that he has the ability to score. He's going to back up his physical play, and it's really going to come down to the summer that he chooses to have. Every one of us that have ever played this game, you kind of grow up at one point or another, or you don't make it. If he makes the decision to dedicate himself to his nutrition, his rest, his hydration, sleep, he's on a perfect program this summer. If he can handle 14, 15, 16 minutes, he's going to be a fan favorite.